All right, okay. Welcome again, everybody. Let's just quickly start off with none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't. This is all made for entertainment purposes. So we're gonna pick up where we left off, and I complained originally a little bit about Elon Musk in my previous video. To his elusiveness towards his stance on Bitcoin. Obviously, with the changing of his bio to hashtag Bitcoin. You know, for me originally it wasn't concrete evidence of his support of Bitcoin. For example, he had Doge there before, so I didn't know whether he was playing games. He's been openly flirting with cryptocurrency for a little while now on his Twitter account. But when he changed his bio to Bitcoin, hashtag Bitcoin, it triggered a fake out in the market, like a pump and dump effect, which we'll go over later on. And I was concerned to what his agenda was, and if he's a Bitcoin supporter, um, he needs to. I would have preferred this was done maybe a bit more with him being more transparent on his stance, because he has such a big influence, uh, as you will see in the chart later on, and it just doesn't look good on his record if he's just playing games. 1 minute it's Dogecoin that's on his bio, 1 minute it's Bitcoin on his bio. What happens when he takes Bitcoin off his bio? But he actually has came out. He went on the Clubhouse app, and he discussed Bitcoin here. And we're gonna go through the article here. It's quite brief, really. Um, he's mentioned here, I do think Bitcoin is a good thing. He also said, I'm a supporter of Bitcoin. I am late to the party, but a supporter. I think Bitcoin is on the verge of getting broad acceptance by conventional finance people. That's good news. And he cleared it up. And, what this article doesn't include, which actually is on the recording, is he kind of made clear that everything he said about Dogecoin previously was a joke, and he was making jokes of it even on the chat. And he also realized he also said he has to be careful of how he says things, because he understands the power of his own influence onto the markets. And that's why I think we're seeing this tweet here as well. I'm not surprised he's going off for Twitter for a while. I think that's a wise move, really, because he doesn't want to be attached to this thing where he's going to be people blaming him for pumping the markets or dumping the markets. And this conversations put his this whole Bitcoin conversations has put his name up for a discussion and a debate, which, and how he's went about it, it's not positive look for him. I know, I get where he's coming from now, but he's taking a break off Twitter for a while, and I understand why. Moving on, in other news, the XRP, as we discussed in the previous video, the pump that was meant to happen. This was at 1:30 GMT. That's my location. It was meant to be at 1:30. And as we discussed on the previous video, this wasn't gonna. The pump was this candle. It's people buying in before the actual pump, and they're selling the time of the launch. Of not the launch, the time the organized pump of time. That's what they did. We discussed it, and we said this was going to happen. I mean, smart investors, they don't participate in those kind of pumps that are open source and everyone can see when the pump's going to happen. It's an ironic thing, really. I mean, smart investors would have bought ahead of the pump, which ironically causes the pump, But it's it's a case of buy the rumor and sell the news, and this news got sold. It got sold massively, and this is a very bad situation if you bought in to the pump, I believe, because if you bought in here and you didn't sell, then you're left with XRP, which is a not a good coin. It's currently got allegations against it and a lawsuit from the SEC, and I don't think they're going to win. And aside from that, it's not a good coin anyway. So if you bought in, it's not looking good really for XRP at the minute. It really isn't. And the fact that they decided to pump XRP, it just kind of shows the caliber of what they're targeting, which is nonsense coins mainly. They've seemed to change their plan, and we're going to discuss that later on as well. But yep, we saw this coming, so we're going to move on to Doge. I mean, last time in the previous video, we was at this region here when I was recording. It was, it kind of looked a bit interesting candle, but we said here it's not going to happen. Like, it's going to reject again, and Doge is you can't predict Doge. You don't know what to do with Doge. So like, I have nothing to say on it. So I'm just going to move on. But this whole pump and dump thing with these coins, it seems to be over with these coins. And unfortunately, this WSB thing is going to be around for a while. And I just want the crypto community to keep it together, because this is not the same thing with what happened with GameStop. It kind of, if it had any ethics behind it originally, it's now lost all of its ethics. When it comes to crypto, really, as a rule of thumb, for me, I don't follow pump and dump schemes. They don't tend to work. I mean, look, they can, but it's not something you want to get yourself tied up into. The WSB, they're creating, the worst thing about it now is that they're creating fake accounts, as we discussed already. The chairman, the WSB chairman, he's not even associated with Wall Street Bets, but he's got more followers than the actual mod of the forum on Reddit. So this is where we're at with it, really. And you just need to keep your head on your shoulders and be careful. There's fake information out there, and they're acting like it's a rebellion to something, by buying Doge or by buying XRP, that you're fed up of the market, like the institution pushing prices down on stuff. I've seen tweets like that, and they're using the GameStop use case and just pumping useless coins, and they're scams, and they're tricking people. So, we need to focus on the task at hand, and that's Bitcoin. And this is what we're going to say here. The chairman here, WSB chairman, has changed his narrative slightly here. And, here we go. It says, cryptocurrency has never had a better argument for its use. The era of cryptocurrency has arrived. The only way to stick it to Wall Street is to use Bitcoin. And as I said, this is what we were discussing as well originally, is that will this spill into Bitcoin? All of the things that they're pumping, all of the things that they're doing, they're focused on the wrong things. And I said this, if they want to stick it to Wall Street, the only way is to do that is to buy Bitcoin. And they're coming around to this way of thinking. I read this article somewhere, and Bitcoin, it says that Bitcoin is like a submarine to the WSB community, and I think that's put perfectly. I think those that have their thinking caps on are going to get on board. So that's all I have to say at WSB at the moment. We're going to look at the Bitcoin price. This is a very basic chart drawn up here. I don't like tons of indicators. I don't really trade. I'm not really a day trader. I just kind of have this up for me for understanding my long-term targets and just understand where the market's at today. we may or may not be in a consolidation period. I mean, currently we're not, but we'll see how these candles play out. We could still come back into this region. We'll firstly discuss that this is where Elon here was the 20. This is the day Elon changed his bio Bitcoin. I mean, if you look at it on the hourly, it's just a ridiculous thing. It goes straight up and straight back down, and that's all because Elon changed his bio to hashtag Bitcoin. So that kind of shows the influence he has. But as I was saying, the consolidation period, it's a really weird thing. We've been in this region for quite a while now. I guess it feels like quite a while, but we haven't crashed below. There's an immense buying pressure below 30k. People just keep scooping under 30k, and this is an astonishing achievement, really. And it secures my faith in BTC even more. Being in the market for 2 bull cycles now, seeing the top of the market, it ends very quickly and it ends abruptly. And what Bitcoin is doing here, or has done, had a well-deserved pit stop. And if it goes lower, I don't mind. I'll be buying. This asset continues to amaze me. A year on year, it's the biggest growing asset in the world, and we're in 2021, and 30k Bitcoin, is that something that can now be considered normal? It's crazy. So we're looking slightly bullish here in the immediate short term. I don't really use a lot of indicators. I just kind of enjoy drawing this up and seeing where we're at. We got room for another pump here, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin. I always find it quite fun to look at the rainbow chart. Before we go through this, we need to read the disclaimer that's on it, just to be clear. The rainbow chart is not investment advice. Past performance is not an indication of future results, and the rainbow chart is meant to be a fun way of looking at long-term price movements, disregarding the daily volatility. Yeah, the color bands follow a logarithmic regression, otherwise completely arbitrary and without any scientific basis. In other words, it will only be correct until one day it isn't. I don't wake up in the morning and check this chart before I make my choices. That would be pure lunacy. But this is, as it says, it's just a fun thing to look at. But there's a lesson in it, and you can also see it's been strangely accurate throughout the whole cycle, the whole thing since the birth of Bitcoin. Well, not since the birth, but since the chart was created. This is how I'm seeing it, and the lesson that's in this, which is a very basic one, is that the longer we are in this period, where the longer we are in consolidation, and the longer we don't rush up, the higher the price will be at the end of the bull market. If we see the top in, let's say, January, the price could be around this region of 183,000, and that could be the maximum bubble territory by this Christmas. That would be the peak. If we kept like a thing going on here where we were kind of debating about where we're going, but when we have this blow off top, when it does come, and it will come, the point in this being, the longer we stay in these healthy zones bouncing around here, the higher the price will be at the end of the market, at the end of the bull cycle. So I'm pretty prepared. Either way, if the price surges tomorrow to 60 grand or 80 grand, or I'm ready either way. to sell based on how quick that candle goes up. And, I'm going to sell. My plan is to sell before the top, obviously, not at the top. So I'm looking to sell in a region where, it might be I missed a 30%, 20% top. But, if you got in early like I did, then you don't have to worry about that, really. You just got to kind of think, okay, I didn't cash in on my money, on all the money that I made in the 2017, 2018 market. So this time I am fully prepared, and I would not be surprised if there was just a one final ungodly candle that could happen, and I would not be surprised if it's before the end of the tax year. We may hit. That's when I think we may hit the top of the cycle. Just as a speculation, this bull market is moving faster than the last bull market. So does that mean we think the price can push even harder for longer? No, I don't think so. I think we're going to have a dramatic and unexpected end, and a lot of people are talking about this multi-year bull cycle. And in my opinion, the bull market nearly started a year ago. I mean, people were saying the bull market started about here, or around, this is the region where it was confirmed. But, I see it as it started. I mean, this isn't the best chart to find where was the birth of the bull market. But for me, the bull market may have started in April or May. And when you put that into consideration, that kind of explains where we're at as well. Do you know where we're at? Is this a bubble phase? And if you're asking those questions and you're hitting those prices now, when you beat the previous all-time high, you're gonna smell that you got to smell that the top is near, because you've smashed through the all-time high already. Maybe the top's already in. Who knows? I don't think it is. I think we can go further. But point being, I got detracted from the point there, and I was saying that I think the top might be before the tax year, because people are going to want to cash in on their tremendous profits. So this chart here, it just kind of gets the cogs turning a little bit. As I said, it's not something I use and believe in. It's just something that's interesting to compare it to. These are the charts we're really using. I'm going to do another video on how I'm measuring the market. That's mainly through Glassnode and a few other things. So I'm going to post a video about the charts I use on Glassnode that help me keep my cool in the in this crazy bull cycle. So just wanted to touch on Cardano. I also wanted to know, I want to know when this is going. When is CoinMarketCap getting rid of this? Why is it above Bitcoin? I don't know why it's there. Anyway, it just annoys me. I'm a Cardano holder as well. I'm also an Ethereum holder. Can't jump over the price of Ethereum at the minute as well. Absolutely ridiculous. 1,500. It's brilliant. I think it's going to go further as well. But Cardano for me, it still the limelight today, because Cardano hasn't really outperformed other coins. It's kind of always moved along with the market, the same as every other coin has, but it's never been, oh, whoa, look at Cardano, and its market cap is getting closer to Polkadot, because it seemed almost like it decoupled a little bit there for a moment in time. But here we are. There's two reasons, or a couple reasons, why I think the Cardano price pumped up a bit. Obviously, it starts with Charles Hoskins saying, "A little bird landed on my shoulder and told me that February is going to be a really good month." We're in February, 2nd of February, and we're pumping. So, he's planting the seed there. And also we have the release of Gogan Mainnet. This is the roadmap. It was released a while ago. And it's meant to be released in March. And I think maybe February, him saying that February is going to be a good month, is insinuating that this is going to be on time. I may or may not be. I could be wrong about that, but Cardano are known for delaying their launches on stuff, and they get criticized by the community a lot because of that. And I don't think there's any problem with them taking their time. I really don't. So I'm a supporter of Cardano. It's good to see the price pump, but we have to be aware of the market we're in. I have seen so many. It's a part of that. This whole WSB effect has happened, and there are markets, there are people now that are trying to do this thing where it's like ethically pumping good coins, what has good news. So let's pump a coin that actually has value. So even if you're dumping something that has, you're dumping it short term on these people, but they're gonna have perhaps a long term investment on their hands equally. And Charles Hoskins posted this video on his Twitter. He's aware of the price. We're gonna play it for a minute.
I wanted to make a video to welcome all the new Cardano members. We've seen a huge surge in wallet creation, account creation, Reddit membership, Twitter membership, and other such things over the last week in particular. I suspect that some of this price appreciation and other things are probably related to market manipulation and the pump and dump stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it decline. But every now and then some people stick around. And so for all the new people that are sticking around, I wanted to welcome you to Cardano. And actually I have a few links and resources for you.
So yeah, I mean, he touches on what I just mentioned there. And this is why I also kind of enjoy Cardano, because Charles Hoskinson, he comes on regularly and he discusses these topics with the community. He's very much involved with the community, and I admire him for it. So, just wanted to have a light conversation on Cardano, really. But yeah, there's meant to be a pump happening. Everyone's trying to pump it by the 14th of February, apparently. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another decline, the same way as XRP did, by the 14th of February. That's the time I may consider selling some, depending on the price. They're attempting to hit $1. We'll see what happens. It depends. I'll judge it closer to the time. We'll see what social media traction picks up at the time. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to discuss today. If you've made it this far, thank you. Please leave a like, and if you really enjoy the content, subscribe. That would be much appreciated. So yeah, thank you everyone. Cheers.